Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So this is my 7th video that I'm making today. And this video's topic is Sanatan Dharam is being told that it's not a religion, but it's a way of life. So I'd like to talk more about it and let's talk if it's a religion or not religion, if it's a way of life or it's not a way of life, or is it something else? So let's start by looking at the definition of religion. Okay, so I pulled this definition of religion from online, Google. It says the belief in and worship of superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Okay, so the key thing here that kind of differentiate from Sanatan Dharam is the word belief in the definition of religion. Okay, that's a key word that I'm picking up. Definition of religion is the belief in and worship of superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Let's talk more about it. When you read, when you look at Christianity from the perspective of the Bible, it clearly says believers. Okay? The one who follows the Bible teaching are called believers, and the ones that do not follow the teaching of believers are called infidels. So Christianity have no in the whole 7.5 billion people. There are only Christianity looks at the whole group as two division. One set of people are believers, and the others are infidels, which means non-believers. The religion comes from Abraham. When you look at the Abraham side, Abraham has, we know, four main religions right now, mainstream religion from Abraham. One son, Judaism, the other son, Christianity, the third son, Islam, and the new one right now is called Baha'i faith. And that all these four religion is coming from Abraham. Okay. Now, so we know about Christianity. Now, Islam also. In the Quran, the whole world of 7.5 people, 7.5 billion people is divided in two groups. One are believers who are Muslim, and the non-believers are called kafir or kafir. So the whole world is divided that way. And same thing with Judaism. Judaism also have believers and non-believers. Okay. So they identify themselves as believers of whatever is their doctrine or commandment. They call it, whoever follows that are called believers, and those who don't are non-believers. Baha'i faith is trying to unite all these three Abraham main frontline religion, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. That's what Baha'i faith is trying to do. It's a very new religion, maybe 100, 150, 300, 400, 500 years old. Started a while back. It took a while to come to what it is today. Because there've been always war between and fights between these three religions. They fight among each other and try to kill each other because one is saying that they are supreme and the other should not coexist with them. And all these three religions is from Abraham. They are all the descendants of Abraham is the one who made all this religion. Now, when we look at the country called India, before it got partitioned from Pakistan, India and Pakistan together and Bangladesh combined was called Hindustan. And before Hindustan, when Nepal and Afghanistan was all in one piece on one country, we're looking at the country being called as Magad. Now I have gone back 300 or 400 years before Jesus Christ, when Chandragupta Maurya and his grandson Ashoka Maurya ruled the country called Magad. And that time, the Magad was one country which has Afghanistan, um, all the top line, all the way to Himalaya, Nepal, and Bangladesh, Tibet, I think probably all those to all the way to the bottom where it comes to the ocean. They're all Magad. Before that, we can go up to 4,000 or 5,000 years from today. There was called Harappa civilization or Indus civilization, where they were like maybe 12 or 16 cities built on Indus River. And Indus River was coming from Kailash Parvat, from Kailash Parvat to Manasarovar Lake. From Manasarovar Lake, then comes the river, Indus River, and that's where all the civilization was. They had septic system, they had water line system, and this was 5,000 years from today, and that was called Indus civilization or Harappa civilization. Okay, so the religion comes from Abraham. Then what comes from this country, India, that we know today? So in India, there's also four mainstream dharam. They are not called religion, and I will explain you the difference between a dharam and a religion. There's quite a bit of difference. Okay, that is why the four mainstream dharam that comes from India, or previously known as Hindustan, or previously known as Magad, or previously known as Harappa or Indus civilization, or known as Bharat during Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna was there, it was called Bharat. So I'm going to say Bharat. Keep it simple. I do not recognize India. I'll explain that later on some other time. I do not recognize Hindustan. I recognize Bharat. Okay, but that's a story for another day. Maybe I will tell a little bit here and there. So from Bharat, which is known as India, which has been split into quite a small amount now, the land. That land has gave us four dharam: Sanatan Dharam, Jain and Buddha Dharam, which came around same time, around 600 before Jesus Christ or 1,000 years before Jesus Christ. Historians are still fighting on the actual date on it, but let's say roughly around there. And Jain and Buddhi, Jaini and Buddh Dharma came around same time, maybe 100 years back and forth here and there. Okay, then came Sikh Dharma, which came in when Guru Nanak was born. That's when I counted, 1469 after AD. That's when Sikh Dharma. So India or Bharat or Hindustan has given us four dharam, and then Abraham has given us four religion. Religion and dharam is way different. That is why when Western society or when Christian or Muslims tells Indian or Hindustani or Hindu or Hinduism people or Sanatan Dharmi, they tell them that you don't have a religion, you have a way of life. That is true. Okay, that is true, but I'm going to explain more in detail. And they make you feel down, yeah? They make you feel like nobody, that you don't have a space in this planet when you don't have a religion or your way of life. Hinduism is a way of life, but not Sanatan Dharam. Punjabi is a way of life and not Sikh Dharam. Punjabi culture and a Sikh Dharam is a difference of night and day. Okay. When people look at me, they call me out Punjabi, and I have nothing to do with Punjabi. I'm not even born in Punjab. I'm born in Fiji Island, and I don't want to follow Punjabi culture. Punjabi culture is the one who drinks and then do balle balle bhangra. That's Punjabi culture. Okay, Sikh don't do bhangra. Sikh should not drink. Sikh are the people who does gospel singing, kirtan. We do kirtan. We don't dance. Even when we do kirtan, we don't even do like this. We're doing kirtan, like going in the mood of kirtan like this. We don't even do that. Sikh don't do that. Sikh just sing kirtan. That's it. So all that you see, this is Punjabi culture. Drinking alcohol, Punjabi culture. When you see muchi like this, yeah, that's ego. Yeah, that's pride. No, Sikh don't do that. Sikh is like this. Yeah. So, but today is not a topic about Sikhi. It's about Sanatan Dharam. But I'm just giving a little differentiation here. Hinduism is a way of life. It's a culture of the people who lives in India, the people who lived in Hindustan. That's not Sanatan Dharam. Let's go back to belief system. Christian, Judaism, Islam, and Baha'i faith are all believers, not Sanatan Dharam. Sanatan Dharam do not believe. I must be surprising you. Huh? You're about to shut this video down. You're like, yeah, this guy is lying to us. Well, give me a few more minutes here. We, Sanatan Dharam, Jain Dharam, Buddha Dharam, and Sikh Dharam are not believers. All four of the Dharam are not believers. But we are seekers. Seekers. We are seekers. We are not believers. In religion, you can't very question too much. You can question soft question, like Mother Mary questioned angel that if I'm virgin, how can I bear a child being a virgin? That was a very soft question. So angel replied, believe in God. He knows everything. Okay, have faith in God. That was the answer, pretty much, in short form. But you can't really question. But in Dharam, you can question. For example, I'm going to use for case study, I will use Arjuna and Krishna. In Mahabharata, Arjuna, a Christian who was a avatar, who was a divine being, who was a Bhagwan, avatar of Vishnu, he gave an order to Arjun, that you have to kill all this Kaurav, all the people, opposite army, our enemies, you have to kill them. And when on the first day of the battle, and when Arjun is looking at who I'm going to kill, he's looking at all his family members. He's looking at all his cousins, uncles. He's looking at his guru, the teacher, Dronacharya. He's looking at his ancestor, Pitama Bhisham. He's like, what? Krishna ji, the God, the Lord, you are giving me order to kill these people? Okay. He said, yeah, Krishna, take the Rath in the middle of both the battalion army. He wanted in the middle. So he went in the middle and then looked the front, the enemy that he was supposed to kill, and then looked behind his army. And then all he's looking is families, friends, relatives, ancestors, children, grandchildren, grandfathers. That's all he sees. His knees started shaking. His knees started trembling. He couldn't even stand on his feet. He dropped on his knee. He couldn't believe what Krishna is making him do. And he prayed to Krishna, please don't let me do this. Krishna cursed him, swore at him. He called him Napunsak, which means no man, you don't have manhood. The Lord, the God gave a command to Arjun to go kill those people. Straight order from the God himself. But Arjun is denying the order of a God. Can you believe that? A God tells you to do something and you deny it. And you don't want to do it. And he said, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. Please, forget it. I want to pack up and go home. They can kill me, but I am not going to kill anyone. Then Krishna start answering all his questions. Arjuna has a lot of questions, full of questions. And Arjuna and Krishna had all the patience in the world to answer the question. It was a strong question. It was a soft question. It was a harsh question. It was an aggressive question. Krishna had all the time. The whole two battalion, the whole two armies were standing here. They were on halt. No fighting's happening. And they're talking for hours and hours and hours. So when we read the epic story of Mahabharata, they took that portion out where Arjun and Krishna is talking. They took that portion out and made it into a separate book called Gita. That's how Gita came into form. Question and answers of Arjun and Krishna. Okay. What Arjun was saying was relatives and friends and families. That's not what Krishna was looking. Krishna was looking the truth and the evil, the sat and the pap. One side was the truth and one side was the lies and dishonesty and the pap and the evilness and the sinners on one side. Not really sinners, bad word to choose sinners. But they were taking the side of untruthfulness, dishonesty. So Krishna wanted to cleanse. He was doing the cleansing. He wanted to remove the evil. He wanted the truth and honesty to come out. But what Arjun was looking as the human body. Oh, he's my relative, he's my blah, blah, blah. Krishna don't see relatives. Krishna only sees truth and evil. That's what Krishna sees. The Lord Krishna only sees, the God Krishna only sees evil and truth. He came down to do the cleansing. He came down to clean the evilness and make the truth up and only to exist. And this was in Dwapar Yuga. Okay. So he did not say to Arjun, I'm a God, I'm giving you order to kill. No. He said, ask question and I'll answer you. So what is dharam? The meaning of dharam, so we read the meaning of religion. Religion's meaning was the belief in and worship of superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. That was the definition of religion. Now, what is the definition of dharam? The dharam's definition is, dharam means decree, law, or order. Of what? Decree, law, or order of what? Righteousness. Righteousness is the meaning of dharam. And what is righteousness? Simple. Moral and ethical. Moral and ethical is the meaning of righteousness. And in Sanskrit, the meaning of righteousness is dharam. Now, what does Sanatan means? Sana means no beginning and tan means no ending. So Sanatan means it has no beginning, it has no ending. If anything that has no beginning and no ending, we call that timeless. And in Gurumukhi, we call timeless akal. Yeah. So it says timeless righteousness. Akal, righteousness, which has no ending, no beginning. And righteousness means being moral and ethical, and it's an order. It's a decree, a law, or an order to be always be moral and ethical. Timeless. No ending, no beginning. That means you don't have no ending and beginning. Don't look for one of this righteousness. If you're looking the beginning and the ending of this righteousness, there is none. It's timeless, it's akal. It's to the infinity on both sides. You just have to be righteousness at all time. You don't have to believe nothing. Do not believe in anything. But be righteousness. Righteousness according to moral, ethical, right here. So Arjuna kept asking the question till the answers made it clear that it was morally and ethically righteousness thing to do is to kill those people. And he knew now that he's not killing the people. He's killing the evil. When he understood that concept, that these people that he's looking in the other side are the guardians of evil. As long as they live, the evil will live. And do not worry about the body. Because in Sanatan Dharam and every Dharam that come from the land of Bharat or Hindustan or India, they believe in reincarnation and they believe in soul. The body is something that will be recycled or destroyed, gone, but your soul keeps finding the next body. So when Arjuna will be killing those people, his families, his ancestors, his guru and teachers, and his cousins and his grandkids and his son or grandpa, he's not killing, he's killing their body, because their body is what is embracing the evil side of the evil. And when asking so much question with Krishna, and finally it made sense to him that it is morally and ethically, it's okay to kill those people because they are taking the side of the evil. Then he went to battle. Then he stood up and his legs were solid and strong can be. You can't move him anymore now. Their weak knee that dropped to the ground is not weak anymore because he got his answer. He knew killing them will be the path of the righteousness. Is morally and ethically making sense now. Okay. So, Sanatan Dharam is not a religion and is not a way of life. It's more bigger and greater than the belief system. We are seekers. The four dharam that came from Bhumi, from the land of Bharat, from the Bhumi of the Bharat, are all seekers. The Sikh, I'm called Sikh. In my, see, the Sikh word came from the Sanskrit word Shishya. Shishya means student. Sikh means student, being disciple. Sikhi means learner. Sikhya means learning. And who are a student? What is the one thing the student do? What is the one common thing the student did? So the teacher will tell us something. And after teacher tells us something, whatever the teacher was teaching, the next thing the teacher asks, any question? Are you believing me what I'm teaching, or do you have a question? And the student will raise his hand, say, Master Ji, I have a question. And who's looking for the question? Is it a believer or a seeker? Seeker looks for the question. Same thing with Gautam Buddha. You can ask him many questions you want. He'll keep answering. He will never tell you not to ask a question. Same thing with Jain. Jaini. Okay? So never ever bow down when the Western society or any other religion that comes from Abraham, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and Baha'i faith will not do that. Baha'i faith is very humble, very polite. I have a lot of love for Baha'i faith. Yeah? And I also respect other religion. I never will condemn them. Okay, I'm not condemning anyone. If you feel like that, please, my sincere apology to you. I didn't mean no. I can't do Bedouin. As a Sikhi, I can't do Bedouin. I can't insult no one. But what I'm saying, I'm just sharing information. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about Sanatan Dharam versus Hinduism. Okay. Now we know what Sanatan Dharam is. Okay. It's not a religion. It's not a way of life. What is a way of life? It's Hinduism. We are thinking Sanatan Dharam is same as Hinduism. No. No. Sanatan Dharam and Hinduism, the difference between day and night. Just like there's a difference between a Punjabi and a Sikh. I'm not a Punjabi. I'm moving away from that. There was a time when I used to drink and do all the Bhangra, and nobody can stop me when I do Bhangra. Okay, no more. That's Punjabi culture. I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay, even in Punjabi culture, they were doing sex selective abortion. When the abortion, when they come, when the science gave them ultrasound and sonograph, and when they came to know that you can know what is the sex of the baby, and when it's a girl, they were killing it. It was not only Punjabi, it was Indian culture, Hinduism culture, Punjabi culture. Everybody was doing, because they have a dowry system over there. And dowry system, if any Sikh is accepting a dowry system, is not a Sikh, but is a Punjabi. Simple as that. And doing rap song in Punjabi language, and you showing the guns, flashing the guns, you're not Sikh. You're not Sikh. My Guruji never flashed a weapon. They always kept a shit. The blade never, the kirpan never comes out of shit. Only when it needs to be used. In the video movies, those Punjabis are firing those guns. They're just letting the bullet out of the barrel. Sikhi don't do that. Sikhi will never flash their weapon. Sikhi will be armed. Sikhi will be weaponized. They'll be tayar bar tayar, ready upon ready, but they will never flash their weapon. Those who are flashing the weapons are Punjabi, not Sikhi. Okay, so as there's a difference between a Sikh and a Punjabi, Jameen और आसमान का फर्क क्या? इसी तरह Hinduism और Sanatan Dharam में फर्क क्या? All those cultural things you're seeing, abortion and all that, the way of life, that's Hinduism. Anything that your Sanatan Dharam is not teaching you doing it as Hinduism. Okay, and now going a little bit up now. Okay, stop calling yourself Hindus. Stop calling yourself Hindustani. Okay, you are a Sanatani, and your land is from Bharat. You can call yourself India because the country's name is officially India, and you can call yourself Indian because that's a nationality. In 1947, the man by the name of Jawaharlal Nehru, whose title was Pandit, he's the one with Muhammad Jinnah, made a deal with the British, and they split Hindustan right in between Punjab and made it into two countries. And in 1947, Jawaharlal Nehru, he announced that now our new country will be called India, and the people living in this country will be called Indian. And who gave you that name? The British. When the British came in, they came in as a company, as one who's going to go trading, and their name was East India Company. They chose the name of a company, East India Company. Just think about it. Tesla is a auto company, and let's say they invade India, right? And when they give you independence, and then your new prime minister comes in and says, now our country will be called Tesla, and we will be Teslinian now. That's exactly what happened. The East India Company came into the trade, and then they invaded, and then they did 200 years of invasion, and they ruled it for 200. And when they left, your prime minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, he came in and he told you, you are Indian now. So the British gave you the invaders gave you the name British India. Yeah. Now, how did you get the name Hindustan then? When the civilization of Indus was there, or the civilization of Harappa was there 5,000 years before Jesus, from today, the Persian people used to call the civilization as Sindh. They were not using Indus. They were using Sindh. And when Turkey started the invasion, and then Babur came and started invasion, the Mongolian Muslims started coming the invasion. From the Sindh, from the Indus to Sindh, then from the Sindh, it became Hind. And when the Mongolian Muslim, when they ruled the Magadh, which was at the time was a Magadh, because 300 years or 600 before Jesus Christ, when Maurya dynasty was there, Ashoka Maurya and Chandragupta, it was called Magadh. But their Persians and the Arab world and the Asian world on top recognized as Sindh, not as Magadh. And when they invaded, they started calling it Hind. And when Mongolian Muslim, aka Mughal, when they became a Mughal Raj, they called that country Hindustan. They called it from Indus to Sindh, became Hind, then became Hindustan. Think about the word Stan. If you do not agree with me, a lot of people think it's the natives of India gave it the name Hindustan. Well, let me debate with you a little bit. There is any city or any state by the name of Stan? Ayodhya Stan? Is there any Ayodhya Stan? No. Any Stan? There is no Stan. Delhi Stan? Bombay Stan? There is no Stan. Okay. Bharat Stan? No. The Stan word came from the country of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan. And those are all Muslim church. And those are the people who came and invaded you. So they gave you stan. There's no, either in Magadh or Harappa civilization or in Bharat, there was any ending of a country or any city with the name of stan. All the word stan means country. It's a word coming from Farsi, from Persia. It's not Sanskrit word. Stan is not a Sanskrit word. It's not a Hindi word. Now, Hindi is also the language given to you by your invaders. Okay. For example, watch all this. I'm going to give you the list of all the stan. Okay. Afghanistan. Okay. The country of Afghans. Okay. And then Kazakhstan, the country of Kazakh, the tribe Kazakh. Kyrgyzstan, the country of Kyrgyz. Okay. Tajikistan, the country for the tribe Tajik. Okay. Pakistan, the new one, Pakistan. The country for Paki, the what you call the pure ones or whatever, I don't know what Pakistan stands for. Turkmenistan, again, the country for Turkmen, I don't know how to pronounce it. There's their place. Then Uzbekistan, the country for Uzbek people. Okay, so they give the Mughal Raj, the Mongolian Muslim rulers, they gave you Hindustan. That means the country for Hindu. And where the Hindu word came from, because the Persian, they could not say Indus, they called you Sindh. When the attack happened, from Sindh, it became Hind. And then when they ruled, they made you Hindustan. And now you go around and calling yourself Hindu. You call your language Hindi now, which the Pakistanis are fighting with you. It's not Hindi anymore. Why you're disguising? Your language was Sanskrit, but Hindi is Urdu now. Because, trust me, when you speak Hindi, 60, 70, 80% words is from Turkey. Just go watch a movie from Turkey and you will see how many words. Lekin, the word lekin is from Turkey. Many words like that. So you go around calling yourself Hindu, you go around calling yourself Hinduism, you go around calling yourself Hindustan. The invaders gave you that name. You go around calling yourself India, you go around calling your country India and calling yourself Indian. The invaders gave you that name. What happened to your originality? Can't you fight for that? And then another one is Ism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism. This Ism is also given to us by Western society. We are not Ism, we are just E, Sanatani, Jaini, Buddhi, Sikhi. The E is what we need, not Ism. Okay? Vaheguru Ji Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.